Hi everyone, let me tell you something powerful today. Success is not owned, it is leased, and the rent is due every single day. If you want to win, if you want to rise above the rest, you have to make a decision, a bold, unshakable decision that no one will outwork you. See, there are people out there who are more talented than you. There are people who have more resources, more connections, and maybe even more experience. But let me tell you the truth, talent can only take you so far. Connections will open doors, but they won't keep them open. And experience is meaningless without effort. What separates the good from the great, the dreamers from the achievers, is grit. The willingness to push harder, go further, and fight longer than anyone else. There's a common misconception in life that talent alone is enough to achieve success. People often look at the most accomplished individuals in sports, business, entertainment, or any field and assume that they were simply born with a special gift. But the truth is, talent is just the starting point. It's what you do with it that determines how far you go. Hard work, grit, and relentless effort are the real game changers. Effort is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about where you come from, how much you know, or even how talented you are. It's about how much you're willing to give. Talent can open doors, but those doors don't stay open on their own. Effort is what keeps them from slamming shut. You can have all the natural ability in the world, but if you don't nurture it with hard work, it won't take you far. Look at the people who succeed at the highest levels. Yes, many of them are talented, but what sets them apart is their relentless work ethic. They outwork their competition day in and day out. They're the ones who stay an extra hour at practice, who study harder, who push themselves beyond their comfort zones. Effort doesn't just make up for a lack of talent, it can surpass it entirely. History is filled with stories of individuals who weren't the most gifted but achieved greatness through sheer determination. They didn't let their limitations define them. Instead, they leaned into their hard work, knowing that effort could take them places talent alone never could. Think about it. How many naturally gifted people have you seen waste their potential? It happens all the time. Why? Because they relied on their talent and didn't put in the effort to grow, refine, and expand it. On the other hand, think of those who may not have started with all the advantages, but they put their heads down and worked relentlessly. They studied harder, practiced longer, and stayed more focused. Over time, their consistent effort outshined the natural talent of others. That's the power of hard work. It levels the playing field and even tilts it in your favor if you're willing to commit to it fully. Effort also has another incredible quality. It builds character. When you push yourself to work harder than you ever thought possible, you develop discipline, resilience, and mental toughness. These traits don't just help you achieve your goals, they transform you into a stronger, more capable person. Talent might make things easier at first, but it doesn't prepare you for the challenges that come along the way. Effort, on the other hand, equips you with the tools you need to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward. There's something deeply satisfying about knowing you earned your success. When you achieve something through effort, it means more because you've put your heart and soul into it. It's not just about the result, it's about the journey. Effort makes you appreciate the process. It teaches you patience and perseverance. It reminds you that the grind is what makes the victory worthwhile. Effort also has a way of unlocking potential you didn't even know you had. When you push yourself to work harder, you start to see what you're truly capable of. You break through barriers and limits you thought were impossible to overcome. Talent may give you a head start, but effort is what keeps you in the race and propels you forward. It turns potential into progress and progress into success. But effort isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart too. It's about being intentional with your time and energy, focusing on the things that truly matter and constantly seeking ways to improve. Effort isn't wasted energy, it's directed energy. It's about having a clear goal and doing everything in your power to reach it. That kind of focused effort is unstoppable. It's the kind of effort. Success isn't achieved in a single day or through a single action. It's the result of small, consistent efforts repeated over time. Consistency is the quiet force behind every great accomplishment. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand attention, but it works steadily and relentlessly, building momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. Consistency, not talent, not luck, is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the achievers. When you're consistent, you show up day after day, no matter what. You put in the work, even when you're tired, even when the excitement has worn off, and even when it feels like no one is watching. That's the hard truth about consistency. It isn't glamorous. It's not about big wins or dramatic breakthroughs. It's about grinding when the grind feels endless. It's about committing to the process, trusting that the results will come, even if you can't see them yet. Every step you take, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see the fruit the day you plant it. You water it, nurture it, protect it, and wait. Day after day, you show up, even when there's no visible sign of growth. That's what consistency looks like. Over time, those tiny, seemingly insignificant actions compound. And before you know it, you've built something remarkable. The truth is, anyone can be motivated for a day or a week. Motivation is fleeting. It's easy to feel excited at the beginning of a journey when everything is fresh and new. But what happens when that initial spark fades? What happens when the novelty wears off and the real work begins? That's where consistency comes in. It picks up where motivation leaves off. It's the discipline to keep going when the excitement is gone and the results are slow to show. Consistency isn't just about persistence, it's also about habits. The things you do every day shape who you are and what you achieve. Your habits define your life. If you build habits that align with your goals, success becomes inevitable. For example, if you want to be a better writer, it's not about writing one masterpiece in a day. It's about writing every single day, even if it's just a paragraph or two. Over time, those small efforts add up to something incredible. What makes consistency so powerful is its ability to create momentum. When you do something repeatedly, it becomes easier. The effort required decreases and it becomes a natural part of your routine. Momentum makes progress feel effortless, but it only comes after consistent effort. It's like pushing a heavy rock uphill. At first, every inch feels like a battle. But if you keep going, eventually, the rock starts to roll on its own. That's the magic of momentum, and it only happens when you stay consistent. Consistency also builds trust not just with others, but with yourself. When you show up every day and do what you said you would do, you prove to yourself that you're reliable and capable. You develop confidence not from a single achievement, but from the knowledge that you can keep showing up no matter what. That self-trust is invaluable. It's what allows you to take on bigger challenges and set higher goals because you know you'll follow through. The road to success is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. Consistency is what keeps you grounded during those times. It's what reminds you that progress isn't always visible, but it's happening. Even when you stumble, even when you fall, consistency is what helps you get back up and keep moving forward. There's a misconception that consistency is about perfection, but it's not. It's about persistence. You don't have to be perfect every day, you just have to keep showing up. Some days will be harder than others. Some days you'll give 100%, and other days you'll barely scrape by. That's okay. What matters is that you don't stop. Even a little progress is better than none at all. Consistency isn't about doing everything right. It's about doing something every day to move closer to your goal. When you stay consistent, you also inspire others. People admire those who are steady and reliable. They see the effort you put in, and it motivates them to do the same. Consistency isn't just a personal quality, it's contagious. It creates a ripple effect that can positively impact those around you. Consistency is about commitment. It's about making a promise to yourself and keeping it no matter what. It's about understanding that success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to where you want to be. It's not about giant leaps, it's about steady, deliberate steps in the right direction. That's how you achieve greatness. That's how you turn dreams into reality. When it comes to achieving your goals, there's one truth you must accept: nothing significant happens without commitment. And not just any commitment, a relentless, unshakable, all-in type of commitment. You can't dip your toes into the water and expect to succeed. You have to dive in head first, fully committed to the process, the grind, and the sacrifices it demands. This kind of relentless commitment is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Relentless commitment begins with a decision. It's not a casual choice or a fleeting burst of motivation. It's a deep internal decision that says, no matter what, I'm in this for the long haul. It's making a pact with yourself that quitting is not an option. This mindset sets the tone for everything you do. It means showing up, even when it's inconvenient. It means staying focused when distractions are everywhere. It means continuing to push forward when others have already given up. When you're relentlessly committed, you operate differently. You don't just work hard when it's easy or convenient. You work hard every time, no matter the circumstances. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about the bigger picture. There will be days when you don't feel like putting in the effort. Maybe you're tired, stressed, or discouraged, but relentless commitment doesn't care about feelings. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. One of the biggest challenges of relentless commitment is embracing discomfort. Growth rarely happens in your comfort zone. It's the hard times, the tough decisions, and the moments of doubt that test your resolve. When you commit to something with relentless determination, you're essentially signing up for discomfort. But here's the thing, discomfort is where the magic happens. It's where you stretch beyond what you thought you were capable of and discover your true potential. Relentless commitment also means eliminating excuses. There will always be reasons to quit, to delay, or to settle for less. Maybe it's lack of time, lack of resources, or fear of failure. But if you're truly committed, excuses don't matter. You find a way to make it work. You prioritize your goals over your doubts. You focus on what you can do instead of what you can't. This level of commitment requires a mindset shift. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to stop, you see them as opportunities to grow stronger. Another key aspect of relentless commitment is focus. You can't be committed to everything. You have to be laser focused on what matters most. It's about saying no to distractions and yes to your goals. This means making sacrifices, sacrificing time, comfort, and sometimes even relationships that don't support your vision. It's not easy, but it's necessary. You can't give 100% to your dreams if you're constantly splitting your attention. Relentless commitment is about being all in, fully devoted to what you're trying to achieve. When you decide to pursue a goal or chase a dream, there's one thing you must be prepared for. People will question you. They'll call you obsessed, tell you to relax, and even suggest you're taking things too far. But let me tell you something, obsession is often misunderstood. It's not about recklessness or losing yourself. It's about dedication, focus, and an unwavering desire to achieve something extraordinary. To rise above mediocrity, you need to embrace a level of intensity that others might not understand, and that's okay. Obsession is not a dirty word. It's a powerful force, one that fuels ambition and pushes you to go beyond what's comfortable. The people who accomplish great things in life, the ones who change industries, break records, or redefine limits, don't do so by being casual about their goals. They are relentless, driven, and yes, a little obsessed. They think about their dreams constantly, they work on them tirelessly, and they're willing to sacrifice short-term comforts for long-term success. Being obsessed doesn't mean you're out of balance. It means you've chosen to prioritize something that matters deeply to you. There's a difference between being busy and being focused. Busy people do a little bit of everything. Focused people pour themselves into what truly matters. That's what obsession looks like. It's about clarity. It's knowing exactly what you want and dedicating your energy, time, and resources to making it happen. The truth is, mediocrity is the default for many. It's easy, comfortable, and widely accepted. Most people settle for good enough because they're afraid of what it takes to reach for greatness. But if you want to stand out, you can't afford to think like the majority. You have to break away from the mindset of mediocrity and embrace a level of effort and commitment that seems excessive to others. Obsession is the antidote to mediocrity. It forces you to raise your standards, demand more from yourself, and refuse to settle. This intensity doesn't come without challenges. People around you might not understand your drive. They might criticize you, mock you, or try to pull you back into the status quo. They might say things like, "You're working too hard," or "Why don't you take it easy?" But their doubts and opinions have nothing to do with your vision. What they see as obsession, you know as passion. They might think you're overdoing it, but in reality, you're simply doing what it takes to reach your full potential. Obsession requires sacrifices. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals. It means turning down invitations, cutting out distractions, and sometimes distancing yourself from people who don't share your mindset. It's not always easy, but it's necessary. Success demands focus, and focus demands sacrifice. If you want to create something extraordinary, you have to be willing to let go of the ordinary. One of the most powerful aspects of obsession is that it creates momentum. When you're deeply committed to your goal, it becomes a part of who you are. You're no longer just working towards something, you're living it. Every decision you make, every action you take is aligned with your purpose. This kind of alignment is rare, and it's what separates high achievers from the rest. It's not about luck or chance, it's about being so focused and so consistent that success becomes inevitable. Obsession also drives creativity and innovation. When you're fully immersed in your pursuit, you start to see opportunities and solutions that others miss. Your mind becomes sharper, your problem-solving skills improve, and your ability to think outside the box is enhanced. This level of immersion comes from caring deeply about what you're doing. It's not just a job or a hobby, it's a calling. And when you're that invested, your work becomes not only productive, but also transformative. It's important to understand that obsession isn't about burning out or pushing yourself to unhealthy extremes. It's about channeling your energy in a way that's purposeful and productive. It's about being disciplined enough to stick to your plan, even when distractions and temptations arise. Obsession isn't chaotic, it's deliberate. It's about being in control of your time and actions, making sure everything you do is moving you closer to your goal. At the same time, obsession teaches you resilience. The road to success is rarely smooth. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and failures along the way. But when you're truly obsessed with achieving something, you don't give up. You find a way to keep going, to adapt, to overcome. Obsession gives you the strength to persevere when others would quit. It's not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. Obsession is about belief. It's about believing in your vision so deeply that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make it a reality. It's about having a fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished no matter how tough things get. This kind of belief is rare, and it's what allows you to push past limits, silence doubts, and achieve the extraordinary. So if someone calls you obsessed, take it as a compliment. It means you care enough to go all in. It means you've chosen to live with purpose and intensity. And in a world where so many settle for mediocrity, that's something to be proud of. Obsession isn't something to be feared. It's the fuel that will take you to the heights you've always dreamed of reaching. Criticism is inevitable when you're striving for greatness. No matter what you do, there will always be people who doubt you, criticize your choices, or try to bring you down. They'll question your dreams, belittle your efforts, and sometimes even laugh at your ambitions. But here's the truth: their criticism has no power over you unless you let it. In fact, if you know how to use it, criticism can become one of your greatest sources of fuel. The first thing you need to understand about criticism is that it often says more about the person giving it than it does about you. People criticize what they don't understand or what makes them uncomfortable. When you set out to do something extraordinary, it can unsettle those who are stuck in their own mediocrity. Your ambition reminds them of their lack of effort. Your determination highlights their excuses, and your progress forces them to confront their own insecurities. So instead of reflecting inward, many choose to criticize outward. That's not your problem, it's theirs. But criticism, no matter how unwarranted, can sting. It can make you second-guess yourself or feel like you're not enough. This is where your mindset matters. Instead of internalizing criticism as a personal attack, learn to see it as an opportunity. Criticism, whether constructive or not, offers you a chance to grow. Ask yourself, is there truth in what they're saying? Could their words, even if harsh, help you identify areas where you can improve? If so, take it as a gift. Use it to refine your skills, sharpen your focus, and come back even stronger. Then there's the other kind of criticism, the baseless, mean-spirited kind meant to tear you down rather than build you up. This kind of criticism isn't meant to help, it's meant to hurt. But even this type of criticism has value if you know how to handle it. Instead of letting it discourage you, let it drive you. Let every negative comment, every insult, and every doubt become fuel for your fire. Let it remind you why you started in the first place. Let it push you to prove them wrong. Turning criticism into fuel requires a shift in perspective. It's easy to feel defeated when someone tears you down, but what if you saw it as motivation? What if, instead of feeling crushed, you felt challenged? Every time someone tells you that you can't, use it as a reason to show them that you can. Every time someone doubts you, let it remind you to keep going, not to stop. Criticism doesn't have to weaken you, it can strengthen you if you let it. The best way to respond to criticism is with action. Don't waste your energy arguing with naysayers or trying to convince them of your worth. Instead, let your work do the talking. Silence your critics by proving them wrong, not with words, but with results. Let your achievements speak for themselves. There's nothing more satisfying than succeeding in the face of doubt and showing the world what you're truly capable of. At the same time, don't let criticism make you bitter. It's easy to fall into the trap of resentment, to feel angry or vengeful toward those who've doubted you. But holding on to bitterness only weighs you down. Instead, use criticism as a tool for growth and as a reminder of your resilience. Thank your critics not aloud, but in your heart, because their negativity gave you the fuel to keep going when things got tough. Another powerful way to handle criticism is to separate the noise from the signal. Not all criticism is created equal. Some of it comes from people who genuinely want to help you improve, while some of it comes from people who simply want to tear you down. Learn to differentiate between the two. Constructive criticism is valuable. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. Destructive criticism, on the other hand, is just noise. Tune it out and focus on your path. Remember that every successful person has faced criticism. Think of the world's greatest athletes, innovators, and leaders. They were all doubted, ridiculed, and told they wouldn't make it. But they didn't let the criticism stop them. In fact, many of them credit their critics as one of the driving forces behind their success. They use the doubt as fuel to push harder, go further, and achieve more. If they can do it, so can you. Criticism also teaches you resilience. When you learn to stand firm in the face of negativity, you become stronger. You realize that other people's opinions don't define you. What defines you is how you respond. Do you let their words break you, or do you let them build you? Do you let their doubt stop you, or do you let it propel you forward? The choice is yours. Criticism is unavoidable, but how you handle it is entirely within your control. You can choose to let it discourage you, or you can choose to let it motivate you. You can choose to let it make you bitter, or you can choose to let it make you better. The next time someone doubts you or tries to bring you down, don't let it shake you. Instead, let it remind you of your strength, your vision, and your potential. Let it fuel your journey to success. Your competition isn't the person sitting next to you, your coworker, your friend, or even the person at the top of your industry. The real competition is the person in the mirror yourself. The person you were yesterday, the habits that hold you back, and the mindset that whispers doubts in your ear. If you want to outwork everyone, the first battle you must win is the one against yourself. This is the hardest yet most rewarding fight you'll ever take on, because when you conquer yourself, the world opens up in ways you never imagined. Every day you wake up, you're faced with choices: hit the snooze button or get up and get started, take the easy route or the challenging one that will lead to growth. These are decisions you make not once but repeatedly throughout the day. They may seem small in the moment, but together they define your trajectory. Winning against yourself means taking control of these moments, not letting laziness, fear, or doubt dictate your actions. It means choosing discipline over comfort and consistency over convenience again and again. The truth is, the biggest obstacles you'll face are the ones you create for yourself. Procrastination, self-doubt, distractions, and negative thinking are all internal battles that can derail your progress. To outwork everyone else, you first have to outwork the version of yourself that gives in to these tendencies. This requires self-awareness. You must identify your weaknesses, acknowledge them without judgment, and actively work to overcome them. Pretending they don't exist or blaming external factors won't get you anywhere. Growth begins the moment you take responsibility for your own limitations. One of the most powerful ways to outwork yourself is to set high standards and hold yourself accountable to them. It's easy to coast through life doing the bare minimum, but that won't lead to extraordinary results. You need to push yourself to do more than what's expected, not for anyone else, but for you. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about demanding more from yourself every day and refusing to settle for mediocrity. When you raise your standards, you challenge yourself to reach new heights, and in doing so, you become a better version of who you were yesterday. Another critical aspect of outworking yourself is overcoming fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown are all powerful forces that can paralyze you. But fear is just a product of your mind. It only has as much power as you give it. To outwork yourself, you must confront these fears head on. You must take risks, step outside your comfort zone, and embrace the uncertainty that comes with chasing big goals. Every time you face your fears, you grow stronger. Every time you take a step forward, despite your doubts, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Discipline is another key element in this battle. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward when the initial excitement fades. It's what gets you out of bed when you're tired, keeps you focused when distractions arise, and pushes you to keep going when the finish line feels impossibly far away. Discipline isn't something you're born with, it's a skill you develop through consistent effort. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. And the stronger it becomes, the easier it is to outwork the version of yourself that used to quit when things got hard. Outworking yourself also means being honest about your habits. Are they helping you move closer to your goals? Or are they holding you back? It's not enough to want success, you have to align your actions with your ambitions. This requires sacrifice. You might have to give up late night scrolling on your phone, weekends spent binge watching TV, or hours lost to meaningless distractions. These small sacrifices might feel tough in the moment, but they're what create the space for bigger wins in the long run. Another layer to this is resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. How you respond to those setbacks determines whether you move forward or stay stuck. Outworking yourself means refusing to let failure define you. It means getting back up every time you fall, learning from your mistakes, and coming back stronger. This resilience doesn't just happen, it's built through adversity. The more challenges you face and overcome, the more prepared you are to handle whatever comes your way. To outwork yourself, you also need to master your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality, and a negative mindset can sabotage even your best efforts. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. Are they empowering? Or are they filled with excuses and limitations? Replace I can't with I'll find a way, and I'm not good enough with I'm getting better every day. This mental shift is crucial because your mindset determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. Finally, outworking yourself means staying consistent. It's not about working harder for a day or two. It's about showing up every single day, no matter what. Consistency is where the magic happens. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the achievers. When you make a commitment to yourself and honor it daily, you build momentum. And that momentum is what propels you forward, even on the days when you feel like giving up. The beauty of outworking yourself is that it's a never-ending process. There's always another level to reach, another challenge to conquer, another way to grow. It's not about competing with others or trying to prove anything to the world. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought possible. Each day is an opportunity to be better than the day before. And when you win the battle against yourself, you'll find that there's no limit to what you can achieve. Outworking everyone starts with outworking yourself. When you conquer your fears, push past your limits, and remain disciplined and consistent, you unlock your true potential. The competition isn't external, it's the person you were yesterday. Keep striving, stay focused, and prove to yourself that greatness is within your reach.